This is the San Jose Industrial Processing Zone. Behind this fence lie some of the factories that have turned Honduras into the world's 5th largest producer of garments. In 1998, the Honduran government took the extraordinary step of declaring the whole country to be an export processing zone, a clear indication of how important EPZs, as they are known, have now become to the economies of developing countries. 30 years ago, they were just a handful. Today, EPZs have become one of the cornerstones of the globalized economy, located in 116 mostly poor countries and employing over 43 million workers. Many of these are young women with no previous experience in the formal labour market. Supporters maintain that EPZs have revolutionized world trade and brought new skills and jobs to some of the poorest countries in the world. Opponents argue that the benefits to the multinationals and to rich consumers in the form of lower prices far outweigh any advantages they may bring to host countries. The great majority of jobs in EPZs are poorly paid and involve few skills. One of the principal activities is garment manufacture. This highly mobile industry is now established in 160 different countries, and companies are constantly on the move in search of cheaper labour and lower costs. Nouros Ravaliniera knits pullovers in a factory in Madagascar. Normally she produces 5 a day, but sometimes her boss asks her to make up to 9. Then she must continue working until 10 p.m. For this, she receives a monthly wage of 250,000 Madagascan francs, the equivalent of just 20 euros.
Tena sarotra be mihitsy satria nipatrano 150,000 dia za zany dia ny laoka zany efa tsy vary sy ny laoka efa tsy ao anatiny, kely fotsiny ilay izy dia mazany mahatonga ilay mandeha tongotra.
Like Nouros, Sahudra Razulanirim, an embroidery worker, belongs to a union. But with no bargaining rights, relations with management are poor.
Zany hoe misy zany zavatra hoe tiana mba hoe tsy rariny zany ny ataony aminay dia tsy afaka mamaly zay fa ohatrany hoe izy foana zany manery anay hoe tsy maintsy fitaina amin'izao io dia injihana arak'izay fa tsy afaka mba milaza etaetanao zany ianao. Rehefa ohatra izy hoe miteny izy zao dia ohatra zany zay hoe mba misy zany zavatra angatahanay hoe tokony amboarina ny miteny zany zay hoe mba amboarina ilay latabatra fa iva kely loatra ka marary ny tratra ohatran'izany amin'ny dia izy mamaly hoe ho atao io nefa tsy manatanteraka izy.
The theory behind EPZs is simple. In return for making goods for export, manufacturers are offered exemptions from customs tariffs and some taxes. Digna Torres is the administrator of the largest export processing zone in the Philippines.
They are not paying any of the local taxes. They enjoy the income tax holiday for 4 to 6 years. They can import raw materials, equipments, machineries tax-free, as well as export the finished products tax-free.
But the benefits don't stop there. In the race to attract investment, governments are often prepared to exempt the zones from all or part of the national labour legislation. Trade unions have also found that breaches of the labour law are often ignored, as was shown in a recent survey of EPZs in the Philippines.
We have found out that 33% or 1/3 of the companies violate the provision on wages, meaning they give wages way below the minimum wage. And second is there is a systematic forced overtime, especially during shipment.
One of the principal incentives to employers in EPZs throughout the world is the knowledge that it will be extremely hard, and in some cases actually illegal, for trade unions to organize the workforce.
It's really a problem here to organize inside the zone. The security cards didn't allow outsiders or non-worker will enter the economic zone. That is one of our problem. Secondly, the workers are very young and they did not know about unionism.
Some companies will stop at nothing to prevent workers organizing. This is Santiago in the Dominican Republic, home to Grupo M, the largest garment manufacturer in Central America and the Caribbean. Grupo M employs more than 12,500 workers and produces for some of the best-known North American brands, including Levi's, Liz Claiborne and Tommy Hilfiger. But Grupo M also faces serious allegations of anti-union activities in one of its Santiago factories.
Un día llaman a Francisco, que casualmente es un compañero de nosotros, el secretario general del comité, lo llamaron a la gerencia. ¿Qué pasa? Cuando él salió de allá de la gerencia, cuando fue a ocupar su sitio donde estaba trabajando, ahí mismo llegan los tipos y le macharon con una silla y un martillo. Y lo reventaron que hubo que cogerlo de ahí en litera. Al otro día después, fueron los tipos donde yo estaba trabajando, la máquina mía, en eso de las 9 de la mañana. Yo estoy trabajando en la máquina, yo veo los tipos que vienen ahí, dicen ellos, atrás de este que andamos, pues yo soy una gente, ellos veían que yo era uno de la segunda cabeza, gente abierta, atrás de este que andamos. Entró uno con un machete y un tubo.
Both men subsequently found themselves imprisoned for several days, as did other union members, like Isabel Ramirez.
La empresa no quiere el sindicato. Cuando contrató dos tipos para que nos desintegrara del sindicato, lo que es el sindicato, para que lo desbaratara, para que se peleara dentro de la empresa con nosotros. Y luego después ellos se encontraron afuera y se pelearon. Y ahí fue cuando a nosotros se nos llevó preso, porque primero se nos llamó y se nos dijo que no podían ayudar si nosotros renunciábamos del sindicato y nos íbamos de la empresa, y se nos ofreció dinero.
Both Gonzalez, who was offered a bribe of $1,100, and Ramirez refused to give up the union and were dismissed by Grupo M. They have now been blacklisted by other employers in the zones. The company has refused to answer the charges made against them, and in 2004 received an international loan of $23 million for a new factory located on the border of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. However, experiences in Honduras have shown the very real benefits to workers of trade union organization. In 2003, an ICFTU video exposed the abuse suffered by workers at the Korean-owned Corazon apparel factory in San Pedro Sula.
Todos los trabajadores estamos desesperados. Una de las cosas es que hay abuso verbal, psicológico y moralmente por todo, ¿verdad? Esta gente, los supervisores, como decir, ¿verdad? Ellos empiezan y maltratan al trabajador diciéndoles que son ineptos, inútiles, que no sirven, que tienen cabeza de pollo, que no sirven para nada.
With the help of the International Textile, Garment and Leather Workers Federation, the workers at Corazon Apparel had succeeded in forming a union. Much of the work had to be done in secret, in the barrios where the workers lived, to prevent victimization and dismissals. Even so, as soon as the union had gained sufficient support and declared itself publicly, the company's response was predictable.
Those that were seen as the leaders of the union were fired. So we immediately made approaches to the company, to the government, to the retailers involved. That led to the reinstatement of those workers, but unfortunately the problems didn't stop there. The company continued to exert pressure on those involved in the union. They were threatened, they were blacklisted, and so on. So we made, 4 or 5, I suppose, different approaches to the company concerned and to the retailer.
At the time the video came out, the union had submitted its proposals for a collective contract. Despite the harassment they suffered, the members were united and determined.
Cuando también discutíamos acerca del aumento salarial, pues ahí se llevó un conflicto exagerado que al grado que tuvo que todo el personal actuar, y lo que más le sorprendió es que vio a todos aquellos rostros de aquellos trabajadores serios y decididos marchando ahí diciendo queremos ese contrato.
By now, international pressure on Corazon's Korean owners, Youyang International, was beginning to tell. And in February 2004, negotiations were completed and the agreement was signed.
La firma del contrato colectivo, eso ha sido un logro bastante del sindicato.
Hemos ganado dinero que nos han robado.
El aumento de salario, no maltratos.
Ya ahora los tratan como es debido.
A la gente la miraban indiferente, ahora tienen que verlos todos igual.
No es bonito estar trabajando bajo presión. Creo que ya esto queda como una historia del pasado y vamos ahorita viendo lo que es lo bueno de la conquista, que es el contrato colectivo.